Welcome to FarmRPG. Belogan here. In this video, we are going to talk about some recent buffs. Oh yeah! Love those buffs to wine and the bank. So those updates were implemented on the 20th of October, 2021. First thing that happened is that the caps for both the bank and wine were raised to 10 million or 8 million, depending on which perks you have available. Prior, this was 5 and 6 million. So a pretty big boost there. The biggest change, though, that made the big difference is, and as soon as I start talking, my canary in the background wants to start singing. Sorry about that. He's quiet until I talk. All right. The other thing that happens is the rate at which wine now grows in value is tied to your farming level. So in the past, wine would be 1,000 silver plus the days that you were in the cellar cubed. And then with the perk of cellar insulation, it was double that. Now it's mostly the same formula. It is 1,000 plus days in the cellar cubed times your farm level. And with cellar insulation, it is days in your cellar cubed times your farm level times 3. So what that means is you're hitting this 10 million cap significantly faster than we would be in the old model, where it was something like 135 or 145 days to reach a 6 million cap value. So I've got a couple charts here to show you. One of these is in the library under wine cellar, and that's how many days it takes to hit the cap value. So we've got 4 columns, one for 10 million and one for 10 million with the cellar insulation perk. The other one is for 8 million if you don't have the perk that increases its value, and then 8 million with cellar insulation. Initially, at level 1, there's no real change in how quickly that grows, but the more your farm level goes up, the faster that goes, until we scroll down to the bottom. The top option, 10 million with cellar insulation, you're going to hit that in 32 days, and you actually start hitting that as soon as you get to level 93. The break point on some of these others is a little bit different. So to hit 8 million is a little bit faster, obviously, because you're getting there sooner, but it's not as high of a value. So 32 days, that's drastically faster. If you don't have the cellar insulation perk, it's 46 days. So about 14 days longer. And then the 8 million caps are a couple days, about 3 days less each to hit. So what does that mean in terms of how much value they're actually providing in silver per day? Well, to do that, you basically take 150, which is still the cap with perks bottles you can stick in the cellar, times 10 million. So we're assuming you have cellar insulation, the 10 million cap, and then divide that by the number of days it takes to hit so that you average out how many bottles you can throw in there at once. So with no perks, the wine cellar is still worth about 6 million a day, which averages out higher than the old used to be, totally maxed out. And you'll see that goes up continually until you hit your caps. It's 4.6 or 46.75 million per day with both perks. So you can see here the difference of having cellular insulation is worth about 14 million silver per day difference. So that's pretty drastic. And increasing the value from 8 to 10 million, you can see here, is pretty significant as well. We were talking about 27 million per day to 41 million per day, and 32 million to 46 million, almost 47 million silver per day. That makes wine cellar have about a month turnaround and be a better source of revenue than a lot of other things in the game. So it's better than your sturdy shields are probably going to be, unless you're doing huge numbers of those. It's significantly better than steaks, significantly better than pigs, better than chickens. The only thing it's not really better than is using nets in fishing, either on Lake Minerva or Large Island. Crafting lanterns. Yeah, so crafting lanterns falls right in between Lake Minerva and Large Island. So those 3 things are still going to get you more silver per day than your vineyard, but vineyard jumped from being really long-term, almost never going to see it, takes months and months and months till you finally get a return, to now it's being only a month-long return and a really good investment to make. So there you go. With that, I have a little bit of work to do to update some of my perk tiers, because we've definitely had some new perks added into the game that I haven't updated in a while. We're going to get to that at a later date. But for now, I just wanted to talk about this buff to Vineyard and how awesome it is. As always, thanks for watching.